Morning, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys. Your morning news starts right now.
Just ahead here this morning, Governor Newsom providing an update on California vaccinations and how many more vaccines need to be given out before the state will start relaxing restrictions.
1 year into the coronavirus pandemic, and the president is set to address the nation tonight. I'm Deborah Alfarone on Capitol Hill, where Congress just passed the COVID relief plan.
And a major development in the campaign to save open space in the Santa Barbara Foothills, a developer now pausing their work as activists try to raise the money needed to buy it back. And a live look this morning from our Santa Barbara sky cam. Still some of those big clouds out there as that storm system continues to move through. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on the Morning News. I'm Joe Butina.
And I'm Annika Abbott.
Elise Martinez is working from home. And before we get to Annika's forecast, let's show you what happened last night in Santa Barbara. They received some hail on the streets, and it actually stuck for a while, looked like snow. The city having these photos and video taken. Check this out. When have we ever seen this sticking like this on the ground? It was everything from cars to trees, and it looked like it had snowed downtown. Residents making footprints in the hail, wondering when warmer weather would be coming. But interesting stuff, and there was State Street right in front of the Arlington Theater with people outside kind of playing in the hail that ended up looking like snow. So let's go to Annika now and find out what we can expect today. Really unusual stuff around here.
Pretty impressive. And there is still a chance of more hail today as well as thunderstorms. And actually, especially if we have those thunderstorms, that's when it tends to rain harder and we get some of that hail in the mix there as well. So looking at our storm tracker right now, we are continuing to see those scattered showers, and those are headed right on down that Central Coast region. So taking a quick look at that, we can see right through Morro Bay into Baywood Park. That is definitely a little spot of rainfall, a little bit there on the corner, headed towards Shell and Pismo Beach there, Arroyo Grande, and down southward through Guadalupe and Santa Maria. You are looking to be fairly dry at the moment, but as we get towards Vandenberg, we see this much larger spot here. If I move this to the side, you can see this larger rain cell headed right into the city there momentarily, headed towards Lompoc as well. And then we see a little bit more of a dot over Point Conception, but the rest of the region looking dry at the moment. So certainly we will be continuing to see these scattered showers the rest of the day here, and even through tomorrow a little bit as well. So I will have more on how much more rain we can expect coming up in my full weather forecast.
All right, Annika, thanks. Check back in with you in a little bit. Well, it has been a whole year that the coronavirus pandemic has now been affecting all of our lives. More than 529,000 people have been lost, and vaccinations are helping making a dent in the virus toll right now. And yesterday, President Biden says that every American will have access to a shot within the next 2 months. Deborah Alfarone has more on this year and what President Biden will be doing tonight.
Today is 1 year since the coronavirus was declared a global pandemic.
We've been through so much, man.
6 of Isaac Garcia's family members got COVID-19. 3 died.
Sir, second chance with my dad.
Isaac's dad survived a 3-month bout with the virus and is looking forward to seeing his 20 grandchildren at his Michigan home.
I feel great. I feel blessed.
Down in Little Rock, Arkansas,
It's hard to believe it's been a year, to be honest.
these grocery store workers are getting their vaccines today.
I can protect the people that mean most to us.
Nearly 1 in 4 U.S. adults have received at least 1 shot.
Maximum flexibility.
Yesterday, President Biden announced a deal to purchase another 100 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine from Johnson & Johnson.
We're now on track to have enough vaccine supply for every American adult by the end of May.
Tomorrow, President Biden will sign into law the $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package that Congress passed yesterday.
The motion is adopted. This is the most consequential legislation that many of us will ever be a party to.
The bill passed without a single Republican vote.
Actually, one of the worst pieces of legislation I've seen.
President Biden is set to deliver his first primetime television address tonight, commemorating the pandemic's 1-year mark. Deborah Alfarone, Washington.
And California Governor Gavin Newsom says that the state is close to giving out 2 million COVID-19 vaccine doses in low-income, hard-hit communities. The governor visited a vaccination site in one of those places in L.A. County. Newsom said that 2 million is the short-term goal to address the issue of equity. He says that it's meant to make sure that vaccines are going to communities where they're most needed.
We're at 1.9 million today. On Friday, we will pass that goal, which I'm very, very pleased to say. Once we reach that threshold, we'll be able to move more quickly through these tiers. It will allow us to update our tier strategy and allow us to start reopening more strategically and more safely sectors of our economy.
So far, more than 11 million vaccines have been distributed here in California. And today marks 1 year since the World Health Organization officially called COVID-19 a pandemic. And News Channel morning reporter Ryan Fish shows us that's when Santa Barbara bars began bracing for big changes.
That's our understanding so far.
For many, March 11th, 2020 is when normality began to fade. The World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. That same day, the NBA suspended its season.
People that were here at the bar were kind of like, whoa, this is getting crazy.
Santa Barbara bars like Whiskey Richard's suddenly had to grapple with new questions and safety concerns.
After that happened, you could see the kind of patrons becoming a little more cautious, a little less flow of people out. You could definitely feel an angst. It's kind of heart-wrenching, really, to feel like in the powerlessness of not have no control of what was going on or know what was going to happen.
Within a week, State Street was nearly silent.
I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks.
Old Kings Road is one of the many bars still on the long road to recovery.
It's kind of weird. I've never thought that an actual bar or restaurant could be shut down. When times are rough, people tend to go out and get their mind off things, but you don't think they're going to be shut down, You don't think this business will ever shut down.
Through the reopenings and shutdowns in the last year, there's still uncertainty now, but also more optimism than last March.
Hopefully there'll be a boom ahead, with tourism and that, you got to be positive in times like this.
People miss us and we miss them, and it's not just a financial thing, it's a source of community around here. I mean, I missed really just seeing my customers, even the bad ones.
For the Morning News, I'm Ryan Fish.
And hundreds of thousands of people have received their COVID-19 vaccine locally. The state's COVID website shows that Ventura County has administered more than 235,000 doses so far. Santa Barbara County with 112,000 doses. And Santa Barbara County's website shows about 8% of people who live in the county have now been vaccinated. These numbers include first and second doses. Target is teaming up in the fight against the coronavirus. The company is going to work with CVS and help vaccine distribution. More than 600 CVS stores inside of Targets will start offering the vaccine to eligible people. California, Texas, New York, and Ohio are among the 17 states that will be offering the vaccines. And the San Luis Obispo Police Department getting a new police chief. Rick Scott currently serves as the assistant police chief in North Richland Hills, Texas. He's set to start his new role as San Luis Obispo Police Chief in May. Meanwhile, the interim SLO police chief is heading to Pismo Beach to serve as their full-time police chief. Jeff Smith has been with San Luis Obispo Police Department for 18 years, and he will begin his new role with Pismo in April 6th. All right, now to a major development in the campaign to save open space in the Santa Barbara foothills.
And we are delighted to announce today that we have an option to purchase the 101 acres of the West Mesa of the San Marcos foothills.
The attorney for Save the San Marcos Foothills organization announcing a deal has been reached with Chadmar Group. Developer Chuck Land has agreed to halt grading and development of a new housing project within the 100-acre parcel near the pristine preserve. The window is 90 days, so Save the San Marcos Foothills organization needs to raise $20 million within that time to be able to buy back the land. And they call it a great opportunity for the community.
Probably the most important thing is to start by thanking the Talashe family, who's owned all of this land. I think the original assemblage was over 400 acres. They donated, as you know, 200 acres to what is now the San Marcos Preserve. And with us on the
Supervisor Greg Hart helped negotiate this contract. So far, the group has raised $1.7 million, and roughly 1,000 donors have contributed. So a long way to go to get to $20 million, but they're on their way. All right, it's 5:40 coming up this morning. A country singer will be raising money for furry friends, what he plans to do to help these animals out. And you can now buy your very own private island in the Bahamas. Perfect for the pandemic world. Details next.
Not seeing major incidents at this hour. However, there's limited visibility, a lot of fog on those roadways, particularly around Buellton and Santa Ynez. You can see that on this 101-246 camera. So drive very cautiously this morning, and we'll have your entertainment news when we come back.
Santa Barbara International Film Festival award winner making his directorial debut, and a well-known director is making a movie reflecting his childhood experiences. David Daniel has that and more. Today's Hollywood Minute.
If we don't do what we love, then we wouldn't exist.
Starring in another Creed movie isn't enough for Michael B. Jordan. He'll get into the ring and behind the camera for Creed 3, making his directorial debut. The third installment in the series, an offshoot of the Rocky franchise, is due out November 23rd, 2022.
As I get older, I prefer to tell stories that actually already happened.
Steven Spielberg has told plenty of true stories, from Lincoln to The Post to Schindler's List. Now he's set to tell a version of his own story. According to Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, Spielberg has co-written and will direct a coming-of-age story loosely based on his childhood in Arizona. Production is scheduled to start this summer.
During the pandemic, zoos and aquariums had to shut down, but animals still need to be cared for and fed every day.
Brad Paisley and other country stars are playing a special live stream concert to help zoos and aquariums hit hard over the past year. You can buy tickets for the March 31st show that directly benefit your local zoo or aquarium. More info at alltogetherforanimals.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
All right, it's 5:45 coming up. How's this 730-acre island looking to you right now? Well, it could be yours if the price is right. I've always wanted to say that. Always wanted to say it. Plus, UCSB and Cal Poly playing some thrilling games. Mike Clan is in Vegas for the Big West tournament. We'll check in with him when we come back. 547, welcome back to the morning news. Let's get a look at the forecast. It's a chilly start out there. We've had some pretty wild weather. If you've been outside the last few days, it was hailing, it was snowing in places.
Well, thunder, a little lightning, you know, some of everything. A little sunshine too, so.
Weather roulette.
Yeah, it really is. We're continuing to see these scattered showers across the region. So pretty similar to yesterday. These showers maybe a little bit more sparse though. So looking right across the ocean there, you can see those headed towards the central coast. Not really seeing any rain spots in the city areas at the moment. Also have a bit of fog there with limited visibility. So if you're around Santa Ynez, Buellton, even Paso Robles, about a half a mile of visibility. Got a lot of low clouds this morning, especially in those interior areas. So do drive very cautiously because not only will you see slick roadways, but you're also going to see some limited visibility. So definitely leave some extra space in front of you as you're headed out the door. So today continued on with those scattered showers, lots of instability. So still see this chance of thunderstorms and of hail both at the same time. And we are looking at this upper low moving from the Bay Area this morning and then over to Point Conception by this afternoon. Temperatures 10 to 15 degrees below average, even some interior areas about 20 degrees below average. Tomorrow we're seeing a bit more sunshine with rising heights, so we are warming up by a couple of degrees. We do have some of this wraparound moisture effect though, so we will continue to see a couple of little sparse showers here and there. That upper low headed more towards Arizona and to the east of us. As we go into Saturday, a lot more clearing in the forecast, not seeing any moisture, and we are looking to be yet warmer still, but below average because we have been so cold, just not quite catching up by the weekend. Looking at our future cast, we can see a lot of that rain in effect. So around this afternoon, where it's going to be the heaviest during the day, and especially that snowfall you can see in the mountain areas of Santa Barbara and Ventura counties. So a few more inches of that expected today. As for rainfall, maybe just about a quarter, third of an inch expected. And then Friday, you see some of these scattered showers still before we really start to clear out in those nighttime hours and into our Saturday. Bit of a marine layer probably expected along that central coast. So here's that rainfall. This is in addition to what we've already seen, and in some places we've already seen about an inch of rain, particularly around Cal Poly, Pismo Beach areas, but looking at about a third, a quarter of an inch left if you're on that south coast, central coast, and Ventura County, just a bit less than that. There is a winter storm warning in effect in the Santa Barbara and Ventura County mountains, expecting a dusting of snow above 2,500 feet, a little bit more than that above 4,000 feet, and then also those gusty winds continuing on. So bring your chains if you really do have to drive through the mountains. Ventura County, your high surf advisory expiring this morning at 11, and the central coast later on this evening. Those waves a bit less than yesterday. Looking at our temperatures, that south coast about 59 degrees in Santa Barbara, a little bit cooler there in Goleta and Montecito. Over Point Conception, your temperatures also going to be mainly in the 50s, looking at 57 in Orcutt, 56 in Santa Maria. So certainly a time to bring out your warm sweater, wear it throughout the day. I know this newsroom was really cold this morning as well. 56 in San Luis Obispo and Ventura County, also right around that range in the mid to upper 50s. Looking ahead, we are warming up through Saturday, not quite reaching normal in a lot of places, but by Sunday backing off a little bit as we get a bit more cloud cover with that onshore flow. And it is daylight savings, so don't forget to set your clocks forward. Monday and Tuesday, there's this ever so slight chance of a little bit of additional rainfall as an upper low is moving on that border of California and Nevada. Here's a look at sports with Mike Klin.
We all know it's sure nice to have a hot hand here in Las Vegas. The 7th seed UCSB Gauchos took their best shot at knocking off number 2 UC Irvine behind record-breaking three-point shooting. UCSB started off strong against UC Irvine behind their 2 All-Big West standouts, senior Doris Jones and junior Taylor Mole. Jones scored 10 of her 15 points in the first half, and the first half was certainly tailor-made for the Gauchos. Taylor Mole hit all 4 of her three-pointers in the first half, including this 4-point play. She scored 19 of her game-high 24 points before the break. Santa Barbara controlled the first 20 minutes, but Irvine went into the locker room with some momentum after Chloe Webb banked in this long three-pointer just before the buzzer. That trimmed UCSB's halftime lead to 46-40. Third quarter, UCSB continued their torrid shooting as they made 6 more three-pointers. Anya Choice and Megan Anderson canned the long-range shots as the Gauchos led 70-67 heading into the fourth quarter. More Gauchos from long range. Danae Miller was 5 of 7 from beyond the arc for 18 points. Santa Barbara set a new program record and a Big West tournament record with 18 made three-pointers. They were 18 of 29 from distance, and this clutch three-ball from Anderson tied the game at 90 with just 15 seconds left. Anderson had 16 points, but the Gauchos had trouble getting any kind of stops, and Hallie Taubert's layup with 7 seconds left put the Anteaters up 2. Santa Barbara had a chance to tie at the end, but they could not convert free throws with 1 second left, and the Gauchos lose a thriller 92-90.
It's just a tough pill to swallow right now, because I know it should have been our game to win. We scored enough points, but yeah, couldn't have been prouder of the team. We've just grown so much.
The Gauchos finished the year just 7-14, but 5 of those victories came in their last 7 games. The late game in the Big West tournament was 6th seed Cal Poly taking on the 3rd seed Long Beach State. This one came right down to the wire. The Mustangs were led by star Sierra Camposano. The first team All Big West performer for 2 straight years was outstanding in this quarterfinal game. She made 10 of her 15 shots as she poured in a game-high 30 points before she fouled out. The senior was just sensational as she led everyone with 12 rebounds. Right to crunch time we go, under 2 minutes to play. Cal Poly's other first-team Big West performer, Abby Ellis, the putback. Mustangs up 57-56. 6 seconds left, Cal Poly down 1. They go inside to Maddie Willett, and it goes for the game winner with less than a second left. Cal Poly knocks off the 3rd seed in dramatic fashion, 61-60. The Mustangs celebrate the quarterfinal win. They advance to play UC Irvine on Friday at 3 o'clock in the semifinals. And that's a look at sports.
All right, we're a year into a pandemic, and if you're looking to still just get rid of all restrictions, why not buy your own island? 730 acres. This is known as St. Andrews Island. It is up for sale in the Bahamas. It's got freshwater fishing ponds, snorkeling, sailing, even your own personal group of flamingos. And there's an airstrip. You get your own private plane, fly in there. It's up for sale right now to the highest bidder, obviously, but it's listed right now at $19.5 million. So if you got some friends, maybe you can go on together. Since the start of the pandemic, a number of island brokers have reported high demand for private islands. That seems like a big private island.
Yeah, you could fit a whole town on that, I think.
That thing's huge.
Yeah, if only we knew about this, though, last March, and we could have
If only I had
purchased
$19.5
this.
million.
Yeah, if only.
It looks beautiful, though. I'm totally down for that island life.
Yeah.
Looks great.
That sounds amazing about
Until
now.
the hurricane comes in. But until then, it's great. All right, we'll take you from beautiful island paradise to our own paradise here at home. And look, there's a little snow on the ground. This is our shot from Broadcast Peak pointing back at Kachuma Lake. And we will have more on some of the weird weather we saw yesterday and what our forecast is looking like today when we come back.